Pastor Johnson, is there any place for secular music in the life of a Christian?
Well, the idea of secular music is a very broad idea. I would say yes, in a simple answer, yes. But secular music is something we need to be careful about. I mean, when you say secular music, that includes, classical music, and so I think music can be used well, and then music can be used in a carnal way that feeds our flesh. And you have to analyze why you're listening to what you're listening to. I tell my boys, they all do athletic things, and sometimes a rhythm or something that's upbeat can motivate you on a run maybe that you don't really want to do, but your coach tells you have to do. And so if you're listening to something that has some tempo to it, maybe it has some lyrics in it that we would disagree with, I tell my boys often, you don't get your worldview from those knuckleheads, okay? You don't get your worldview from somebody that's, promoting some kind of secular music. Make sure you don't let those people influence you. We can use entertainers for just that, entertainment. But we just need to be careful because they have an agenda. The world has an agenda, and sometimes if we're not biblically grounded, we can be easily influenced. So is there a place for secular music? Yes, there is, but it just is something that we need to be very cautionary with.
Well, I concur with what Pastor Johnson has said. I think because the second question, kind of a follow-up question, how do you discern church music reasonable for a church worship service versus music that is not? Okay, the music that I listen to in my pickup truck may be different from the music I listen to in my church. However, it is not contradictory. Okay, so message of music is really important. Now, I'm not a musician. But what are the lyrics? What are the things being said? I grew up on a steady diet of what is still my favorite genre of music. That is polka music. I'm not joking. I love polka music. If you want to get people to leave your house, turn on polka music, okay? They will disappear. I grew up in Minnesota. There were stations up there that played polka music 24 hours a day. It's utterly mind-numbing. It's just a beautiful thing. But you don't need drugs if you have polka music. But there is a place in the rejoicing of God's people for things. There's beautiful music in the classical realm. There was beautiful music in the old school realm. Perry Como, do you remember? Okay, look, all these folks are smiling. Okay, I love the big band music. I enjoy a lot of the big band music and things like that. But what happened is music took a turn to the dark side, and that's really where our culture is. There's a dark side. There's a despair. Much of what is called music today, I don't even regard as music. That doesn't have a melody. There's very little talent involved. If someone is screaming at the top of their lungs, and I mean screaming as in yelling, okay, that's not music, okay? And so you can kind of discern that. Then to add to the second question about church music, okay, I want to make a difference between the holy and the profane. In the Bible, the word profane means something that is common. It's not the way we think of profane as in profanity. It means something that is common. So when folks come to our church, it sounds like church. I'm not trying to mimic a rock concert. I'm not trying to put on a light show. It sounds like church. My favorite instrument in church, apart from the accordion, which nobody plays, my favorite instrument in church is the church organ. Yeah. I believe that the church organ is the cornerstone of traditional church music. And I love a churchy sound. You say, Pastor Monte, why do you love a churchy sound? Because it's a church. Okay, and why would you want to represent it in some other way? I don't understand that. Now, that doesn't mean the music's not lively. Our music is very lively, and very people are very expressive in their singing. We sing the great hymns of the faith. Why? Because I love the great hymns. By the way, the music we have at our church is because it's the music I like. Okay, I'm the only person honest about this. I can't point to musical notes and tell you how one note turns something into the devil. I can't do that. But I do know what I like, and I do have an ear for it, and I'm a fundamental Baptist. And so when I listen to music that lifts my soul, because the lyrics, the hymn, the words contain sound doctrine, I'm not throwing that away. I'm not throwing John Wesley out the window in exchange for some dodo bird that repeats 5 lines 18 times in a song. I'm just not interested in that. I love music that has content to it. Now, there's a lot of this is opinion-based, okay, but the question was, how do you discern? If something happens in my church that I don't like or felt a little uneasy about, I just tell the music director, don't do that again. And it doesn't come back again.
Yeah.